Hello, my name is Declan McArdle and I'm here at the National Ploughing Championships at the Teagasc stand. I'm joined today by my colleague Trevor Donnellan, who's Head of Economics and Farm Service. Trevor, thank you for joining me. One of the key areas, Trevor, that you're working on is the whole BREXIT scenario and offering advice to government and industry. Currently, we're waiting on October the 17th, the countdown is on, to see what decision will be made, whether it be a hard Brexit or will a deal be struck. As we stand today, what do you see as the key challenges that are facing agriculture?
Well, Declan, the key challenge really is that this issue of a hard Brexit, we want to avoid that if at all possible. Hard Brexit would have very significant immediate consequences for Ireland's agri-food trade with the UK. The UK is a very important market for much of Irish agriculture, particularly for the beef sector. So a hard Brexit is something we very much want to avoid, and if we can reach a deal in the next few weeks, then that would be very welcome, because that would mean that we could go into a so-called transition period, which would mean that over an extended period of time we could come to an agreement as to what the future trade relationship with the UK would actually be like, and in the meantime trade would continue with the UK as normal. So that's the outcome we're trying to get to. Hard Brexit is obviously something we don't want, but as you are aware, there's severe difficulties at the moment in coming to some kind of an agreement on how we move forward because of this issue of the Northern Ireland backstop.
And I suppose, look, I know you're very involved in the government. Like at the moment, let's say, what are the key areas I suppose they're trying to address to enable the agriculture to deal with a hard Brexit?
Well, there has been a very big marketing drive on the part of the Irish government over the last few years to try to diversify the markets that we export to. We already have quite a diversified export market, say, for the dairy sector. The beef sector still has somewhat high dependency on the UK. About half of our beef is going to the UK. So into the future we will have to diversify that market, look for markets in other parts of Europe, and even if possible outside of Europe into the future. The difficulty we have from the perspective of any kind of Brexit is that in the future we would probably have less trade with the UK, and whether it's a soft Brexit or a hard Brexit, that's probably going to be the case. So we need to find a wider range of export markets.
And let's say, I know let's say very much the whole thing at the minute is hard Brexit and the consequences of that, but let's say with your research, have you seen any opportunities for the agricultural sector as a result of Brexit?
Yeah, I mean, in general, across the sectors of agriculture, the impact we would expect to be negative, right? The sector that's most vulnerable would be beef, but if you were looking for sectors that might potentially benefit from the outcome of Brexit, the obvious one is the sheep sector, because Ireland and the UK compete quite a bit on the lucrative French market for lamb. And as a result of Brexit, the UK, we would expect, will have less access to the French market, and that could create opportunities for additional Irish lamb exports to France.
And that might, even with a soft Brexit, that opportunity lies.
It is, yeah. So it could have some positive impact on sheep prices as a result.
Trevor, thank you very much for your time, and I suppose the countdown to 17 will hopefully give us a clear picture of what Brexit will entail.